What's going on, everyone? So the Philadelphia 76ers have officially re-signed Montrezl Harrell. And Montrezl Harrell played in 57 games for the Philadelphia 76ers, started in 7, played about 12 minutes a game, gave them just under 6 points and 3 rebounds in that time. Now, I guess this makes sense for Philly. Again, he was okay. He wasn't terrible by any means and gives them a little more depth at the center position. And they're pretty much locked up now at the center, right? They got Montrezl Harrell as like their small ball, hard-working type center. They also have Dedmon as another center, and they even stole Mo Bamba from the Los Angeles Lakers. I guess stole was a strong word, but yeah, the Lakers ended up waiving Mo with the intentions of re-signing him, or at least that's what many reports had it, but the Sixers ended up taking him and bringing him in. So now you look at it and you're like, okay, well, they got Joel Embiid, who's going to play 35, 40 minutes a game. They have Mo Bamba, which they can use him as like a quality backup and like a big that they can just kind of grow and develop. They have Dedmon. They have Montrezl Harrell, right? They could even run some like unique different sets with like Mo Bamba and Joel Embiid maybe even because Mo Bamba, his ability to stretch the floor, plus Joel Embiid really likes to stretch the floor and be a little more perimeter oriented than many would like him to be. Not saying that they will do that, but give him a little flexibility. Why not try some different things, right? With this roster. And then when you look at like the power forward position, right? You got Tobias Harris, you got PJ Tucker, you even have other guys like you go Daniel House, you could go Melton. You have options once again at the power forward position as well as the center position. So you're pretty much locked up. But the Sixers still have Paul Reed. And when they signed Mo Bamba, they said, hey, we still want to bring back Paul Reed. And then they went and signed Montrezl Harrell. And there are still some reports that say they want to keep Paul Reed, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Like, if you didn't bring back Harrell, okay, sure, maybe you bring in Paul Reed. But now, again, you got Mo Bamba, Joel Embiid, who's going to play, getting 40 minutes a game, 35 minutes a game, Montrezl Harrell as like a small ball, and then you have Dedmon. So you're basically locked up at the center position. And Paul Reed this past year for Philadelphia was actually really solid in minutes without Joel, right? He started in 2 games and had some really good quality games for them. He played 69 games total. Now, for the season, if you just look at his basic numbers, he was 4 points, 4 rebounds in about 10, 11 minutes of playtime. So nothing really that jumps out the page. He's 6'9", 210, center, power forward type guy. But Philly just doesn't really make a lot of sense for him, right? Like he's not a 3-point shooter by any stretch of the means. So it's not like he's a guy that you could play at the 4 and play alongside Mo Bamba or Joel or anything like that. I guess maybe with Joel and Bamba and their ability to stretch the floor, maybe you could kind of go that route, but it just doesn't really seem to make sense. So I've brought up Paul Reed as a potential landing spot for the Lakers, right? Could make a lot of sense. He's young, 24 years old, still a little raw, still needs a little just development and upside, but he is a guy that can come in and bring energy, bring toughness, be a guy that can fill in spots. Again, he was really good when Joel Embiid was out, and he is a restricted free agent. So it's not one of those things where you can just go and sign him and steal him from the Sixers. The Sixers would essentially have to let him go, and all the Lakers have is a vet minimum to offer him, which is what he's probably going to get regardless. But do the Lakers just throw that offer at him and say, let's see what happens, and maybe the Sixers would be willing to let him go? I mean, seriously, they let go of Daniels for basically the same thing, so it's not far-fetched to think that. And look, the Lakers need another big man, right? But the well is drying up very fast. Now, there's still like Christian Wood out there, but what's the likelihood of him taking a vet minimum? And even if he is willing to take a vet minimum and sign with the Lakers, what does his role look like? Would he want to even come to Lakers when he can maybe do the same thing and go to like Golden State and maybe start, right? Or go to one of these other destinations that maybe can guarantee him more run, more play time? Because you have LeBron James, You have Rui Hachimura, who you're paying $17 million a year. You're really going to bring him off the bench. And then Anthony Davis, it's like, where does he fit? And the Lakers need a guy that is okay with being, hey, one night you're going to play the whole game, 35, 40 minutes. One night you're going to play 10 minutes. One night you're not going to play at all. You need somebody that's willing to come in, accept whatever role is given you that night, be ready, and can step in. Paul Reed could be that guy, right? I personally want a bigger, bulkier type center. I do, and I want more of a veteran center. I wouldn't be against a DeMarcus Cousins. Dwight, I'm kind of iffy on. I know a lot of people really want to bring him back. Maybe the Lakers get lucky. There's talks about maybe JaVale McGee potentially getting bought out, although he's not really bulkier, but he has familiarity with the Lakers and stuff. So there's not like a ton of options, but there are, some potential spots or guys that you can land. Even bringing back like Tristan Thompson. Now, Tristan Thompson and Paul Reed kind of give you a lot of similarities. Now, Tristan Thompson is much bulkier, right? Sturdier, more experienced. So he might actually be the better fit for the Lakers. But if you can get Paul Reed, you could bring in Paul Reed and still go get still bring back Tristan Thompson if you want to, or still go get a DeMarcus Cousins or do whatever. Paul Reed, 24 years old, solid defender, has shown some quality upside, has shown some quality just moments. And so I don't hate the idea of maybe just kind of taking a flyer on him, right? Like what do you have to lose? Like what is the downside of just throwing an offer at him and seeing if maybe you can take him? I wouldn't be shocked at all if you saw the Sixers just say, all right, sure, go ahead, take him, enjoy, good luck. And from a defensive rating standpoint, which, again, this is skewed because it's a very small sample size, but he had a defensive rating this year of 105.1. So to put that in perspective, he would have, if he was able to do that at 32 minutes a game, then you're talking about the best defensive player in the league far and away. Seriously, far and away. For example, Giannis had a defensive rating of 107.7, right? That's pretty good, right? He's one of the best, if not the best defensive guys overall in the league. Now, again, Paul Reed, very small sample size. Don't take that as you could, but it gives you another perimeter guy. It gives you a guy that can come out and play some defense, be a defensive specialist. Imagine him, Anthony Davis, and Jared Vanderbilt. That's a pretty good defensive front court with switchability, versatility, just being able to get out on the perimeter. You don't really give you much offense, so I don't know if I'd play all three of them together. But if you need to get a stop at the end of a game, right? Say there's 2 seconds left, 3 seconds left, something like that, or the team calls timeout and they're trying to take the final shot. There's 10 seconds left. At that point, put in Paul Reed, put in Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, right? Put out all your best defensive guys and trust them to get a stop. And based on the defensive stats, Paul Reed is able to do that. And this year, in 2023, at 105, is his worst defensive year, which is, again, very surprising, but it was also the most games he played. So he played 11 minutes, and in 11 minutes, he gave you a 105.1 defensive rating. Last year, 2021-2022 season, he played 8 minutes and had a defensive rating of 100. That's ridiculous. Again, very small sample size, but still, that's ridiculous. And then the previous year, he had a defensive rating of 101.6 in 26 games played at about 7 minutes. So he's a good defender, right? A really good defender. A guy that can be just quality and could be a guy that could really develop into a quality rotation piece, I think, for the Lakers. It would also kind of give you some flexibility maybe on Jared Vanderbilt, right? If you were to make some trade or something later on down the line and you had to include Jared Vanderbilt, it's well, at least we have Reed, could be that perimeter defender, and then plus we have, like Taurean Prince, guys like that. I don't hate it, right? Obviously, I still want a bulkier veteran type center, but if you're looking for another project type guy and a guy that can come in and make a bit of an impact, I think Paul Reed can do that. I really do. I think Reed would be a solid acquisition for the Lakers if you can make that happen. Philly is just flushed with centers and power forwards and stuff at this point, so I don't know if he even really plays for Philly at that point. I mean, he probably doesn't really play much for the Lakers either, but I don't know. I mean, LeBron's probably going to miss 30-plus games. Anthony Davis is probably going to miss 30-plus games. So there might be opportunity for Reed to play, at least half, if not more, of the season. He might be able to get in 60 games or whatever, and that's not counting, knock on wood, whatever injuries where guys miss. If Rui misses a handful of games and Vanderbilt misses a handful of games, or Prince misses a handful of games, or Jackson or whatever. I don't mind it, right? It's just my thoughts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Yeah, go get Paul Reed. Try, or at least see if you can. Do you think no? Go elsewhere. I mean, you could still bring in Reed and then go get somebody else. Doesn't hurt, but love to hear your thoughts and opinions, however you feel. Let me know down in the comments.